You ever get an idea that was so dumb, you knew you had to do it? Well, that's where I'm at today. Except it's not really dumb, but there are dumb elements to it. Anyways, hey, welcome back to Channel 64. So today we're going to be putting together a super smelter. And if you remember the basement a bit, you'll notice that some pipes have been moved around. So I've had to reroute some of the pipes here that transport our items from our shulker box unloader into our automated storage system. And I had to reroute some of that stuff so that we have room over here for a super smelter. Now, most super smelters take up a lot of space on the horizontal. They're very flat and big, and I'm still going to be doing something like that, but I thought I'd challenge myself and create something brand new and unique. And oh boy, did I ever. Thankfully, because I'm such a hoarder in Minecraft, I probably already have everything. So let's head on up to our storage system and get ourselves put together. Anyways, that didn't take that long at all, actually. So, yeah, we've got all of our supplies right here in these shulker boxes. We're going to be using 192 furnaces, and they're going to be stacked up vertically along this wall right here. It's actually going to go all the way down to about this pipe. And I think it's going to be offset a little bit over here because we don't want to run into our sugarcane farm. So we're going to definitely try to avoid that. It's going to be similar to last year. We're going to have basically a bunch of chests here, which are going to be the output for that. And the input's actually going to be a hole. We just kind of throw everything down in there. It's going to fall down a water stream, end up depositing right about here, and then get picked up by our minecart system, which is then going to dispense it, kind of snaking back and forth between all the furnaces, and then everything gets spit out into another water stream, which then ends up back up there. So I've built quite a few super smelters in my time on SMPs. So let's take a trip down memory lane and go check out some of those old designs and what I didn't like and what I did like about them. All right, all the way back at Collusion MC, and this was a fun little design right here. This actually worked okay, but there was a couple bottlenecks in the whole process. Number one, the input system didn't always work quite right. And then, of course, refueling would bottleneck with our fuel source as bamboo. So this is actually completely filled because we have a really awesome system down below here that was powering everything. And as you can see, it's very, very large, and that would constantly be sending bamboo up there. Tons of loss, tons of loss, but hey, you know what? It's a learning process. And then, of course, the other thing was the bottleneck getting back everything. So all of our output was sent through just 2 droppers, and that, of course, backed everything up, and it would normally get stuck in all of these hoppers, and just wasn't a very good design altogether. Aesthetically, yes, it's amazing. It's this cool, like, weird device with all these output pipes, and the best part about it is anytime I would run this, it would actually send a signal to all of these smokestacks, which then yeah, as you can see all the redstone torches up there, to actually make the smoke out of the top even higher. So it was kind of cool when it was running. You would see the smoke going and everything. All right, and then let's take a look at the monstrosity that we made last season. And we're back in season 3 all over again. And I'm sure you guys remember this monstrosity. So this was a fun experiment to build. It had a lot of furnaces, but the problem with it, though, is it would break a lot. And in the weirdest ways. Now, I don't know if it was a chunk border issue or not, but even though we had this chunk loaded, and even though I could literally be standing on top of it while it was going, for some reason we would have minecarts that just stopped. They would just stop on these powered rails for no reason whatsoever. We'd also have an issue where this wouldn't quite dispense things correctly. You're actually going to see this design kind of mimicked in my version as well. I do have this same clock system with a piston pushing minecarts, but I did make a change where I actually have it pushing a block into these minecarts instead. I found that that was a little bit more stable. And the other thing too is instead of having this triggered by the items landing on this pressure plate, and it is still going to be like that, this is being using the observers to kind of one tick pulse this so that it sticks that target block down. I'm actually just using a redstone signal to that with a delay and having to hold down as well. There's another issue with that as well. If for whatever reason, and I think this one at least had the maximum amount of furnaces possible, so it was like enough for 5 stacks at once, so it never would end up with, you know, extra items in here. Although we did have some times where it wouldn't dispense correctly and there'd be items stuck in these hopper minecarts. We have a new system though on ours, and I'll show you how I've improved it to basically allow that to not happen anymore. And then of course with this, I think my most favorite part about this whole furnace array in the first place, aside of, you know, all of the cool lights that, you know, flash on and off while it's going, is probably up top here. If we go into our input system, so this is going to be kind of what we're doing this season as well with the input system. Everything gets dumped in there, but just having everything come back up into these chests and just being able to dump that all down there was really cool. So I definitely want to mimic that again, and being that our storage rooms are pretty much the same each season, I think we can definitely do that. So that's the goal today. So I think it's time to head back to season 4 and show you what I put together. We're back and it's done. I'm very excited. We haven't tested it yet, but you know, I'm sure it'll work. It certainly won't break. So starting things off, as you can see, this is a very long set of furnaces. We have 64 in each row, and dedicated to each of the furnaces, or 4 furnace sets, we have a dropper setup. So hopefully this will solve the bottlenecking problem with item output. So that's good. So these all get spit out, hit this glass wall here, and end up in this water stream, which goes up to our storage room. And then along the top here, our input system, it's kind of similar to the one we built last season. So we drop the items in up top, and as you can see, this design is very similar, if not exact, just a little bit aesthetically different from the one we built last season. We drop our items into this hole. They go down through this water stream and end up on this pressure plate. Now this pressure plate is weighted, so once they drop on there, it's going to cause this to power, and power with a pulse extender. And the pulse extender is important because it'll start this clock down here, which causes this piston to move in and out. And that's what pushes our hopper minecarts. These hopper minecarts, of course, go right underneath this pressure plate, and they're going to pick up the items and drop them and dispense them into our furnaces down here. And because these will probably pick them up very quickly, it'll actually, I think, pull down more than 3 stacks at a time. What we have down the bottom to prevent these hopper minecarts from having items and getting stuck in this water stream is another detection system. So we goes over this detector plate right here, and then also starts another pulse extender, which this torch tower comes back up here and powers this other pulse extender. So it kind of keeps the whole system going. So as long as there's items up here and items in the carts, it'll keep cycling everything through. At least that's the idea. So we'll see if it works in practice. It may have some timing tweaks that we need to do. We may need to lengthen this pulse extender so that it runs just a little bit extra. But hopefully everything should go smoothly. And then along the lines there, we also have our fuel system. So this is all the storage chests for the fuel. It's going to go down here and dispense minecarts in a similar fashion. I've already filled this up, which is why it's not running. It actually looks at this hopper right here to see if it is full of fuel, in which it is. So it is shut off at the moment. But if this is to be used up, it's going to start dispensing those hopper minecarts, which are going to pull fuel out of these chests, and it's going to dispense it along the fuel line. And very similar, it goes back and forth, goes back up to the top. We don't really care too much if those have items in there, because obviously fuel is going to be constantly needed. So if it stores some of it in there, it's just fine. So I think that's pretty much all of that. So you may be wondering what these note blocks are down here in the item dispensing units. Well, that's for some extra flair. Let's be honest, I put this entire thing together to make a joke, and it's because, you know, farts are funny. So I was thinking, hey, what am I going to title this episode with a super smelter? And of course, the first thing that comes to mind is, he who super smelts it, super dealt it. And so why not? So this is my super smelter that makes fart noises. Yep. I did it. I am so excited to test this. You don't understand. All right. This is so stupid. All right, so we're going to come up here and test this out. I've pulled a whole shulker box of rock hopper. I've got... Oh, I can't see him. I've got a few shulker boxes of rock hopper that we need to smelt. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and dump it in and see what happens. So these should be able to be processed rather quickly. I mean, we can just kind of dump them all in. All right, everything is in. Now let's see if everything is working. So we're going to run on down here and take a quick peek. I don't see anything going, so that's not good. But we're going to figure out what is going on. Maybe we forgot some redstone. This is part of the process that I go through with every farm that I make. It is the debugging phase. And so we're going to find out where it needs to be debugged. Okay, so it looks like we've got power here. It is going, but looks like we may have missed a bit of water down there. Yes, I think we missed a bucket of water. Okay, so that's easy. That's easy. We can fix that. You got a little bit of wiggle room right here. We're going to thread the needle. There we go. And we're business. And you see the fuel lines are going. We've got the everything else is going. Stuff is super smelting. It is perfect. It's perfect. You don't understand how proud I am right now. Oh, my eyes, I'm crying. All right, well, we have an issue, it looks like right here, so we'll have to look and see. I think there might be in like some mob drop or something that got in there, so that's probably preventing that from going. We may need to adjust the volume of the note blocks there. Oh, it might. This is so stupid. All right, let's check down here. So we got some items. Oh, interesting. I don't know why they're getting stuck. They should be moving. Okay, so we're gonna have to look at that. I mean, it's hard to kind of take this all seriously while this is going. But yeah, so it looks like we have some items piling. Can we stop, please? We may have to turn the note block sounds off for a sec. So we have some items stuck right here. I was hoping that this is very serious technical talk right now. God, I was hoping that we wouldn't have this issue because I do know that they're going to be dropping stuff down. I tried to put it in the middle, but because this kind of spreads out, it's kind of going everywhere. So one thing we can do is actually probably throw in some powdered snow in front of these, and that'll prevent that spread. So that should hopefully eliminate that. I am going to dive in there and go grab that though, so it doesn't despawn. And as you can see, yeah, the fuel system stopped. Oh God, this is so dumb. All right, so let's see. Let's get in there. Where'd my pickaxe go? Pull this Oh, oops. Yeah, we'll go grab that. So yeah, I think if we just kind of get in here and put some powdered snow, and I've got a lot of it actually. I gotta go. I think I have a whole shulker box of that stuff. So we've got. Oh God, I don't remember how many of these there are. I think it's like 30 or something. 3 for each row. Yeah, it's well, it'll be 1/4 of 192. Math. I don't know. Less than 64, more than 48. I think. Okay. Well, so I'll go back and put some powder stone there. But I think so far, though, it did work pretty well. And it was actually relatively fast. So, like, we did a whole shulker box worth of stuff. The main thing we got to check now is, do we have a shulker box of materials returned back to us? Because that's going to be the other thing. That'll tell us if we are having items that are getting stuck in the minecarts themselves, in which case then we need to adjust the timing. Okay, let's see. I forgot that I reversed all this stuff. So yeah, not a maybe it's looking kind of like it might be. Okay, yeah, we're short a bit. Did they end up over here? Okay, so we are running into an issue of timing there. So it looks like it is still getting stuck. So we'll have to extend the pulse extender down the bottom there, I think, a bit. I can fix that, tweak it a bit, and then test it again. But yeah, all part of the process of, figuring out these farms. So I'm going to go ahead and make some of those updates, and then we'll check back and test it one more time. All right, so I've made a lot of changes since the last time. It looks a little bit different, so let me go over some of those real quick. So some of the problems we ran into. One, we were having the hopper mine carts picking up the items that are being dispensed out with our droppers. So I should have seen that from the get-go, but this rail line right here was right right under the droppers, and so it was picking up stuff if it happened to be in there as it passed by. So we've moved out the droppers a little bit, so they're out by 1 block. The comparator can read it through this block, so that's good. And then to extend the redstone signal, we use this observer here to trigger that. The target block's probably not needed, but I already had it there, so I just kind of used that. I did end up replacing the target blocks on the bottom as well. This one didn't necessarily need to be extended because of the hopper minecart line, but also due to that. So originally I was going to have these like fire straight down, but the hopper minecart hitbox, it extends actually almost to so there's the hitbox of the minecart itself. It is basically less than a block, but the pickup area is it's just like a half a block out on each side. So even though the dropper wasn't over the hopper minecart itself, it dispensing out even a block aside it was enough for that hopper minecart to still pick it up. So now we have it firing a whole block away from it. So there is no way that's going to get picked up. I had to push this glass out 1 block this direction. And yeah, I think that pretty much takes care of all of the dispensing issues. I have run a few tests, and I did manage to get all of the ore back, so that's good at least. And then as far as changes to our refueling system, so that was the other thing, is getting bottlenecked by the refueling system, so we weren't getting enough fuel in here. I went ahead and had this fill up the entire thing now, so that's all full as well. And then the other change we made was over here. So Before, we used to control whether the fueling system was on or off based off of the storage in this one hopper right here. Now, the absence of some items in this hopper actually triggers the whole line, the fuel line, to go, but it doesn't trigger it to stop. The stopping mechanism is actually all the way at the bottom now. It is another detector rail. And so what this will do is it'll detect when we have items left in those hopper minecarts for the fuel. And that means that it's gone through everything and basically filled it all up, because this doesn't really pick up that many items here. It's like maybe 20 at the most. Not a whole lot. There's like 5 chests worth of pickup right here. And then it just dispenses it out through all of these. So by the time it gets down here, if it does have anything left, most likely these are completely filled up. So that's pretty safe. So that'll trigger this line, which goes up this torch tower, which then pushes this redstone block out of the way. And of course, that redstone block now is going to be what's powering this clock up here. So I think that solves the 2 problems that we had with this. Is just basically a weird thing with the hopper minecart just eating everything up, and then of course, the fueling system. So now that that's all done, we can run this one more time. So let's go ahead and hop back up here and throw another shulker box worth of copper through. All right, grabbed all the copper, and we're gonna go ahead and drop it down the hole. Okay, everything is down. We can see that we already have the hopper minecarts dispensing everything. They've already picked up all of it, and that's going through there. And I did turn the sound effects down a little bit, but it's still funny. Still funny. But you can see that, yeah, everything is working pretty well. So it's all dispensing down through this row of powdered snow. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention about the powdered snow. So the powdered snow is to basically stop it from shooting every which direction, because, of course, we were having the issue where there were some that were ending up on these ice blocks here where there's no water. But let's head on down and kind of watch everything go. It's still funny. But yeah, it looks like everything is good. We have all the furnaces lit. No one-off furnaces unlit because of stuff ending up in there. And it's pretty quick too. I guess with 192 furnaces, we can like basically knock out a whole shulker box in a few minutes. It's always the unexpected stuff. All right. Well, we have a lot of these still burning. I think these are all done though. All right. Well, let's see if everything made it all the way up to our storage. Okay, let's grab those. Grab those. Up here. Already have quite a bit. That's right. I did leave one in there already. So this should fully fill up the box. It does not. It is very short. Dang it. Well, I don't know where these could be missing then. Okay, so I guess they're down there. Well, let me investigate and see if I can find the rest of her copper. So, what happened? I apparently had placed an accidental hopper next to one of these, or on top of one of these powdered snows, so that captured a bunch of the copper, so that accounted for the most of it. And then I did forget to take out one of the smelted coppers that ended up on top here. There was one that was still left up there from previous tests. So once I removed that out, that basically accounted for everything, because I had one extra piece of copper outside of this shulker box. And so, yeah, and that basically solves that. So this design is working, which Thank goodness. But yeah, so this is a fun experiment to at least try to come up with your own farm designs, and it is rather fast. I am able to take care of a full shulker box in just a few minutes, so that's not too bad, and probably could do a lot more pretty fast. Now, is the fart sounds is that going to get irritating? Nope, 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 nope. Still gonna be funny every time. Every time. Anyways, I think that's all the time we have for this episode. I wanted to keep it short, sweet, and really stupid. So I hope I fulfilled all of those. Anyways, until next time, safe travel, everyone.